Their eyes are like a digital camera where the storage space is their heart.
I was that child abuse. I just say life kept me strangled. So I'm surprised and I'm glad that I got out today, because you don't know how many people are strangled and how many people are bleeding and how many people are in the domestic violence and they're trying to get out.
On the outside where it's a perfect picture to everybody outside, but on the inside when the door is closed, the children inside have invisible wounds.
We at Stand Up Speak Out, we don't just look to work with victims. We truly believe in our mission to stop domestic violence.
And as you grow older, people tell you, yo, you're not 5, you're not 10, you're not 15, move on. Move on from that. You're 25, you're 30, you have children of your own now. Move on.
A lot of people are just saying, make it work. You know, stay in there. You know, the relationships that we have, don't leave now. You know, if you're a Christian, you know, God doesn't ordain, you know, divorces and all that kind of stuff.
And it's a ministry more so than anything else, because in order for me or for this team and this community to change lives, we have to get to the core of the problem.
Let people talk about it. Let them open up and talk about it, because if not, what God has told me, and I wrote a book, it's called The Table's Edge, and he said that we're hiding behind the mask of the things that we went through, and God said take off the mask and expose it, unveil it, write about it, make it plain.
So this one deals with me when I was a child and my mother when she tried to get out, and we both were victims to the same man. Same man had us covered and strangled in our same house. This one is called Love Left Me Bleeding. Love left me bleeding, but you said, love don't hurt, don't give up. You gotta make this love thing work. But all I can see is this man tearing the seams of my skirt, smiling at the thought of me being hurt. Love left me bleeding, but you said, love don't hurt, don't give up. You gotta make this love thing work. But last night I was hospitalized for a pre-existing condition, all because I violated my abuser's petition. While gasping for air, I felt my son cuff my hand as he cried out, Mommy, Mommy, don't die. It will be all right. If he only knew at that moment, my body was ready to say good night.
We can't just service the victims, because I believe that there's a thin line between a victim and an abuser. And oftentimes it's a vicious cycle of these people who are abusing and batterers. They have witnessed or seen some form of abuse.
The rains came down as the floods came up, like the hammers came down when my peoples came up. You just gotta hang around for to get you banged up. Won't turn collaborate, a picture had you framed up, cranked up, shaked up, recommend you clean up. I don't need to talk about when I scoot you in the truck. Wake up, gang up for DODs, have you cut the best of terrorists and come to blow you. This bug, how they colonize the mind out here, like my iPhone, smell, bell, or Wi-Fi. Yeah, I swear to God that I would die without my wife and I'm 10 stars out the sky. That'll be mad right here, gonna be up until I got no fear. Just my chest release stress, I just lay in the air. I can't help it if you're scared from them other affairs. I can only turn the page where we can start right there. It's a bella, in Tosha home. We was raised up in these ghettos, surviving.
For me, when I share my story every single time, another wound, I'm healing. There has been plenty of years that have gone by since the abuse, and I still have flashbacks, still have dreams. It doesn't go away just because we separate from it. doesn't just go away. We live with it for years. And every time that I share my story, and every time you share your story, you are beginning your healing process. And each time, we get stronger.
I always carried my ID with me because sometimes I forgot my own identity. So the mirror wasn't a friend to me, and neither were my secrets because they began to tell on me. He said he would die and bleed for me, but it was always coming from my nose, so I suppose he was lying. I suppose he was a fake, right along with my uncle, because at 5, he began to rape me. And mama was in her own world, so she didn't hear my plea. So I thought it was my destiny to suffer and cry. A beautiful bird with scorched wings, so I didn't fly. All I could do was sit and watch the world pass me by, watch the world forget about little old me. And he said it was my fault that he gave me an STD.
Knife up, stab down, duck. Knife up, stab down, duck. She beat a beat of salvation into his chest. A teardrop committed suicide, dove from the depths of her eyes. She decided, as she watched it splatter on upturned wrist, to not touch it with the tip of the blade she was using to play tic-tac-toe along the lines of her veins, making hugs and kisses across her arms like narcissistic Hallmark cards open to the melody of mutilation. Let the blades that sing her the song of Solomon. It loved her, didn't it? She can tell from his metal kiss, the one that tasted like his. Looked to the heavens, eyes asking for permission. It wasn't given. Instead, it was her daughter's cries that made her end this encore. Take knife from wrist and realize the only thing this performance was missing was pyrotechnics. So with bloody fist, she cracked open a still of dynamite, poured gunpowder along the horizon, lit a match, threw it in, and set the sky on fire.
I see it in his eyes. It is almost like it is a disguise. It is not him, but the rage inside. Coming to get me, but I'm ready this time. I'm no longer scared. I'm even prepared. I won't shed a tear, and I'm ready to fight my fear. He came closer, extending his fist my way. I reached for my mace, and I started to spray. He screamed in pain, but continued to fight. I fell to the ground. All I saw was white. I could feel him on me, but I couldn't see. Then nothing. He's gone. How could it be? I stood on my feet, and I looked around. In front of me, my son. He was staring down. His hands colored in red. Never have I felt this magnitude of scare. He said, "Mommy, I stabbed him." He drove away as he bled. Oh God, help us. What has my child done? It was a victory to him. He felt we had won. I looked at my firstborn, my son, my friend. He said, "I love you, Mom," and I do it again.
In the name of Jesus, I speak victory over you. An unsurmountable strength, capabilities that flow at a never-ending rate. In case you haven't understood the magnitude of prayer or the magnificence of glory, let me take you there. Simply close your eyes and awaken your spirit. Listen to his promise, but allow your soul to hear it and let your lips repeat what your spirit has heard, allowing it to manifest throughout your spoken word. Seek that all-around harmony that prayer provides. And when you're on your knees, I'll be by your side to speak victory over you, because I know you'll achieve, and I have faith that this message has planted a seed. I speak victory today and for many days to come, thanking him in advance for the victories you've won.
Have you enjoyed yourself tonight? Yes. Let's give yourself a round of applause. We heard stories of healing and poetry, and through our stories, there is healing. Yes. There is healing. So I would like to, if it's all right with you guys, to close it out tonight. This poem that I'm going to share with you is a poem that I wrote a few years ago when I first really got into doing the candlelight visual. And at that time, it was 57 victims that had died that year. We're very close this year as well. But in this piece, I share my own personal story. So I breathe life. I am not here for your entertainment purposes. I'm not even your featured artist. I'm here speaking to the 57 million victims in this country who've been slaughtered by intimate partners, taking straight aims to their chest when their wives are 6 months pregnant. They told me love is beautiful. I say love can be dangerous when battered women sit in homemade prisons, convicted on indefinite sentences, afraid to walk away and escape, trying to hold on to her faith when her faith has become little to none, living in a daily walk of fear, knowing the one that she loves can take her last breath at any given moment, so she keeps quiet, hiding behind mocha, bronze, mahogany, brown, and ivory. She covers black, blue, and purple scarves under long-sleeve clothing. Her self-esteem she's no longer holding because he buried it long time ago in the dirt. She no longer recognizes her worth, looking in mirrors, but she doesn't recognize herself. She cries, knowing deep down inside she needs help, but crying out for help could lead her and her children to that death, so she stays. Praying that God will rescue her from this living hell, she screams and yells because her flesh is burning from the cigarettes he decided to put out of her skin. She's looking through black eyes, but she can't see her pathway out of this. Made a lifetime commitment. Invested her entire life savings, hoping that maybe it will stop his frustrations, but only made him hate her more. She plotted and planned each day how she could escape out that prison door. But each and every day his threats became more and more serious. Suicide became her #1 option. Sleeping pills, her morning vitamins. He kept her locked up in confinement, wrapped her up in straitjackets and threw her in clauses while her children sit in the midst of fear watching this haunted horror movie of their mother being beaten by this abusive monster. So you tell me, what did she do? Take the risk or take the bullet? Risk her children being afflicted or become a statistic? This is not passive. These are the voices of the women, men, and children speaking through me. And no, this is not poetry. This is healing. And this is my story. I stand up and I speak out tonight.
Gala Marinas, Harriet Hargrove, Tosha Chapman, Nadiah Parker. These are the names of those who have died over the past year in the state of North Carolina due to domestic violence. We bow in a moment of praise to God, praise to the universe for the life that had been lived, and for the memory of those who we bring to this moment. The lives had meaning even in their death, if for no other reason to remind us that we are called to make a difference.
Sweet low chariot, sweet low game. Sweet low chariot, sweet low lane. Sweet low chariot, sweet low. Coming for to carry me home, home, home. Sweet low chariot, sweet low. Sweet low chariot, sweet low. Sweet low chariot, sweet low. Coming for to carry me home. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
We represent this stuff all day. We don't play no games. We don't play no games at all. This is the GOATs. Get it, ghosts. You know what I'm saying? We in the building.